Kick it.
It's Candy. She's just so candy.
Welcome, guys. This is Candy, and I am here with my special guest,
Didda Joe.
Didda Joe from Indianapolis, Indiana, multi-talented musical genius. I mean, he's saying he's not one, but I believe he is. And guys, when you check him out and you check out his SoundCloud and all of that good stuff, you'll agree with me too. We were talking about 1993, your first project when you were in California. Now, I love the title song to it because I'm old school, and I noticed you mixed a lot of old school lines to 1993.
Oh, yes, definitely. You caught that.
Not to mention, you definitely gave a tribute to Prince.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I caught that. I caught, if I'm not mistaken, a little silk line. Let me see, Ready for the World was in there.
Yep, that one was in there for sure.
Told you I'm old school. So, yes, make sure you guys check out the project 1993. You're gonna love it. Now, usually, I can say this, for me, it takes a lot for me to want to purchase or download a whole entire album.
Yeah, definitely.
Usually, if I like 50% of it, cool, I'm getting it. Most definitely, if I like more, then yeah, definitely. But on here, I noticed that there was not literally one track that I can say skip, and skip.
Oh, wow.
And you could definitely tell that there were some, what's the word we want to call it, psychedelic feel.
Yeah, kind of nostalgic and everything.
Yes.
It just brings you back.
It's that psychedelic nostalgia, R&B with some rock a little bit in there, and I just loved it. I mean, it could also be some Smokers song in there. It's just like it gives you that vibe. Your
Definitely.
red glasses. I'm thinking in the whole entire time you're probably in a recording studio with red lights on recording this.
I wish. That would be cool, actually. See, the funny thing is a lot of that project was probably recorded just in some random room in a random house. But I do think they had a studio with red walls for some of the records I was able to record. So you're close.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what's but I think that's what makes the project just feel like more intimate for people because it was done just me, my computer, my, instruments, and my microphone. So, it was one of those things. I just locked myself up for a while and just started doing it and just let it go as it may. So, to see what it became is really dope, and to see what it will become is going to be even more amazing because I know it's going to keep going and we're going to blow that thing up, right?
Right. So is that the only project that you have out right now? What are you working on right now?
Right now, I am working on an album. So, and that's a big thing for me because I promised myself I wasn't going to work on an album until I was like signed to a major label and could get all these big features. But then I kind of saw, well, hey, I kind of already accomplished that in a way with 1993. Now I'm like, hey, I might as well just do it. So I am working on an album, and right now we're just kind of like getting singles going. So we finally just put out a new single. It's called Cool Peoples, and we're just kind of pushing that for now and just kind of let the chips fall where they may right now.
Okay, and I noticed that Peoples is spelled differently. Tell us about that. Well, it's not Peoples, but it's Peep. Tell us how
Cool
you came up with that.
Actually, a couple different things. Because really, like the song "Cool Peoples" just is one of those records where it's like, why can't we? You ever kind of see somebody and you have a friend who's asking like, "Who's that?" And they're like, "Oh no, they're cool peoples." Yeah, they're cool peoples. They're good. So it kind of came from that for starters. But I think that was like my slight way of paying homage to another artist I grew up loving, the amazing you know, who needs to come back harder, music soul child. And one thing I loved about his songs is he was always naming stuff like in the more unorthodox way. Like his album Just Listen, it was spelled JUSLIST something in instead of like the more traditional way, and I would notice that. So nowadays I kind of just like pushing that envelope too and just saying like, hey, I want people to have something different to look at than just the same song titles over and over, so let's just switch it up. So that's what caused it, really.
Okay, now you guys, I'm gonna put this out. I did a little small guest appearance in a video of yours. Now, where were you at with that project? I can't wait.
Yeah.
What's the song?
All right, so yeah, we slipped that in, and that's for my record. That's the next single we're getting ready to.
Yes, because I love it.
Yes, and it's called Crush. Crush it's a special song to me too, because it was like I was in a new place, dealing with new people and just a new woman or something, a love interest, and I kind of was mad because I felt overlooked. So I wanted to kind of talk about that again, going back to, you know, how I feel towards women in relationships, you know. So I'm excited for that one too. Y'all should definitely look out for that, and the video will be coming out
soon.
And it's very soon. Very soon.
Cool.
It looks amazing too.
Don't put my cut on the floor. No, I'm just kidding. I wasn't the main lady, but yeah, most definitely. I appreciate that opportunity.
Yeah, it was a vibe to have you there too. Like that really just made the whole video just like a whole different level. So thank you for being there.
Awesome. Anytime. Let me know.
Definitely.
Who inspired you the most besides Prince? We know that, and you just spoke on music soul child. Do you have any other artists that contributed to your success as far as
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I have a long list. I'll give a couple. I'll give a couple quick ones, really, just without explanation. D'Angelo, to the John Mayers, to Jimi Hendrix, of course Michael Jackson, Andre 3000, Babyface, and a lot of people from the 90s. Just any musician who is worth naming, you know, I let all of them inspire me because they all bring something different to the table that I want to keep alive. So, you know, all the musicians, all the greats that you can really think of, I think I have a little inspiration from all of them when you really think about it.
So when you were in California, did you do any performing out there? I mean, tell us about the California world versus here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Wow. Oh, man. And I'm glad you call it the California world, because that's exactly what it is, its own little world. What I love about LA, yes, I did do some shows here and there, but I didn't do as much, because the one thing about Los Angeles I noticed is one of those places you want to just like soak it in and you want to learn it. Like you want to know what's what, because about LA is that no matter where you go over there, like you can find like your own little vibe. You can find somewhere that's good for you, that's perfect for your type of energy, and you just stick to those places. But I also found out that because I would bounce around in LA, and I lived in different areas. I had the opportunity to see all different types of ways they lived and experience their different type of cultures. And you know, all of that kind of just started rubbing off on to me in its own ways. So that's been the biggest part of experience for me, is just learning how differently they do, you know, the ways that they like food. You know, tacos, you know, you can't get tacos from anywhere else like the trucks in LA. Let me just put that out there. And I mean, obviously you have the most amazing weather. The women are nice too. And of course, weed is legal there. So, you know, can't really beat that. But no, like just in the time in LA, it's really been more like I feel like a learning experience. You know, being around the industry and meeting, you know, some people who I look up to, and to even being around like some of the newer talent that's like kind of blown up now. It's all been a learning experience, and that's been the biggest part that I've like took in, and I like to express to people, because sometimes you go out there wanting to jump in and do a lot of shows and you never get heard of, like, because a lot of people out there I feel like kind of they're watching and they're waiting for the next big thing. But you know, I think it's so oversaturated because you have a lot of people there trying to pursue music, pursue art, and you kind of like get thrown into a pool. So I always try to tell people, like, hey, if you're gonna go out there looking for shows, looking for gigs, great. But look for the relationships too. Look for the networking. So you actually have people to go to your shows.
Exactly. And that's just like some people, they might be the big name here. Everybody might know them, might support them, but then when it comes to their shows, like, wait a minute, what happened to my people? Oh, I sold all these tickets, but they didn't show up.
Exactly.
You know, so
and that's how it is.
I definitely get that. I definitely get that.
Yes.
Tell us one thing that you would want to change. Okay, let me reword that question, actually.
Okay.
Tell us one thing that you have learned from your first crawl in the industry.
Simply to just take your time. Again, like a lot of people, from my experience, you know, you see them blow up in a way where it seems like it was overnight. But the thing that they don't tell you about enough is the background things that those people had to do to build themselves up, you know, like the amount of time that it took. An artist I really enjoy right now named Her, even though I haven't met her yet or anything like before. One thing I was kind of listening about her is how long she had been signed to the label she is, I think Sony. She's been signed since like 14 years old, but you know, you see the artist Her as she is now, you think, oh, just the course of a year she went and won a Grammy and did all the late night Jimmy Fallon shows and all the accolades she's gotten. But no, it's taken like several years for, you know, that incredible, amazing artist and musician as well to get to the point where she's at. So I feel like that's been like the biggest lesson, is just, you know, learning when to be a student and then when to go actually implement, you know, what you learned, because so many people want to just jump in, get a record deal, just be famous and rich, and it's like you don't get to learn a lot from that, because by the time you sign those papers, I mean, you're just on the go and your life is controlled for the next some odd years. So take your time and learn, like never stop being a student. And
it sounds like too, as well, with the way that the industry has changed so much, there's not a lot of artist development going on. You know, the budgets are not there anymore, and so it's more about, oh, okay, this person is hot, they're popular, let's get them on, let's sign them, and that's it. Yeah, you know? Absolutely. And that's the other thing, you know, you kind of learn too, like by taking that, you know, slower grind, because absolutely right. Like I kind of tend to think of labels as, I guess you could just think of them as like a big bank, you know, or loan investors or something, you know. Yeah, they might throw out a little budget here and there still for you to put your album out, but it's so much that you're still having to do for yourself. So it's like a lot of people, you know, kind of get to the point of no return, and then they figure that out. And it's unfortunate because you have so many artists still years and years, you know, of it happening, you know, having their, you know, rights and their creative freedom, their, you know, money stolen from them or just kept from them. So yeah, man, like really make sure you guys are like learning the business. I feel like anybody should do that in whatever industry you're in, but it's kind of to the point now where you're forced to, which is good, but at the same time it is what it is. Yeah, a lot of people want you now to be ready. When they used to didn't want you to be ready, now they want you to be ready because there isn't a budget to invest into you, and at the same time it's less work that they have to do. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. There's a lot of
Definitely
laziness.
tell that for sure.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Indianapolis versus California, for me, I suggest people make sure you get out of here. Now, do you agree with that same advice?
And that's a real good question because maybe I'm biased, but I absolutely feel like you should get out of your hometown, wherever you're from. Not because that's the only way to make it, but I mean, I feel like you should get out and just go touch people. You have the internet and it's amazing what you can do with that, but at the same time, it's like, it's not the same as being able to go to a meet and greet or just go and building your network somewhere else, so you have those people who they feel like they really know you, and then that's the way they become invested in you, because it's like more personal relationship to them just by having felt your energy and felt your vibe, like seeing that you're authentic of a person, not just somebody behind a computer screen who may not even be you. Some artists, they have other people running social media and stuff, so it's just about being authentic too. You just really want to get out there and have the experience. So definitely get out, go travel, go get some experience, get new inspiration, get all of that, take it in. You can always go home whenever you want.
What do you have coming up?
Well, right now we're getting ready to release the video for Cool Peoples. That should be out in just like another couple weeks. Next single, I'm gonna put out Crush, and then that video, and it's gonna be super amazing. And just gearing up to kind of go tour. So I do have some shows coming up. You can catch me out in at least San Diego, LA, Vegas, all throughout September, and we're trying to add some like East Coast dates. We're trying to hit New York.
Still building that piece.
Yeah, so we're building on that, but definitely doing a tour in September, and just getting this album ready, just putting this album out, getting the music to these people before they chop my head off.
Tell them how they can get in touch with you if they want to book you, follow you. Tell them.
Definitely. So everywhere you go, just search Didda Joe. So that's DIDDA Joe, all one word. Anywhere you go for social media, you can look me up anywhere you listen to your music that way. Spotify, Amazon, even Google Play. I'm all on that, all of it. So and
social media.
Yeah, all social media is the same. All like Spotify's and everything. It's all just Didda Joe. So again, DIDDA Joe. Talk to me on there, reach out to me, ask questions. I do my absolute best to get back to people, even though I'm just like antisocial. But
well, don't I know a little bit of that?
I'm an anti-millennial. I'm an anti-millennial. That's what I call myself, because I get tired of phones and the technology. It's too much access.
It is. It's too much access, and it's too much time sometimes that you have to invest.
Absolutely. But I'm getting better. I'm trying to get better though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna. Is there anything else that you want to say that we have maybe not have touched on?
Oh man. Nah, I mean, I guess I'll just leave the people with, just keep following y'all's dreams, man. Don't let anybody put you in any type of box. Don't let people try to tell you when, how, where to do what you want to do. Just do what you love, and make sure that it comes from a place of love, because we have too much hate in this world and we need more people to shed that light, so keep vibrating high.
One more thing, only if you up to it.
All right.
Can you give them a little sample of some vocals?
Oh, man. You the only thing that works for me. Thought you said it's always for me. So how do I get you? Cause moving on ain't the issue. But if you wanna know the truth, my favorite lie is I don't miss you. So praise up for me. I might be crazy, cause I can't leave that girl alone. And you're just gonna have to hear the rest on YouTube or where you listen to music. Cool Peoples, you guys. It's out now.
All right. Well, I want to thank my special guest, Indianapolis' own Didda Joe, multi-talented world traveler.
Man, hopefully to be a time traveler soon. I'm working on that.
I am Candy.
And I go by Didda Joe. You already know.
We're out. Peace. Bye.
But most of all, I said most of all, I want to thank you, my audience. Come on back. I said come on back. Come on back.
It's candy.